What's up guys, welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. It has been quite a while, but with all the new card releases and support from past week, up to go for that, right? But let's pick this one up again, Cross-Banlist Cup, 4th match. I'm still on schedule, by the way, so it's all good. First of all, we have 60 card Paleofrogs. Joshua's list from back in 2017 is paired up against Pendulum Magician's early Master Rule 4 with access to triple Astrograph Sorcerer and of course double Electrumite and, you know, the Starving Venom Dragon as well in the extra deck. Changed the list a little bit indeed, you know, adding in the small, like the band Pendulum Magicians, at least, yeah, like the whole band squad to it, with Joker, Astrograph Sorcerer as well, but the one of Maxi and Wavering Eyes. This is a TCG list, was legal for a couple of weeks if not mistaken. So which deck has the advantage? I believe the people were like voting a little bit like 75% compared to like 25% for Paleofrogs, so 75% for Pendulum Magicians. And yeah, it seems like before this match I was like, well, yeah, that might be true. Then again, Paleos definitely have like an excellent matchup against Pendulums with cards like Dimensional Barrier in the main deck already. Let's not forget, the side deck is legal. Both players, both decks can use their side deck, right? It's a side deck that was used during that particular age. So anyway, this is, you know, like just showcases the ridiculous, how ridiculous this deck is. Again, Pendulum Magicians having access to like the whole band squad with triple Joker and crazy stuff. And the fact that your Pendulum Graph Trap is searchable just makes it more ridiculous, I guess. And of course having the Pendulum Magician, well, the Magician rank 4 exceed on the field, so every turn, during both players' turns, you can send at least like 2 cards from your opponent to the graveyard. Insane. But yeah, again, that's how it is. And let's not forget that this Pendulum list, first place, by the way, opted to run triple Ash, triple Ghost Ogre, and of course the Maxi, which was at 1. So I'm definitely going to Ash Blossom, the card of the mice here. Huge, right? I mean, you definitely don't want Paleos to get a free card of the mice, so 3+2, 3 draws in general. And eventually try to use the Astrograph Sorcerer, but again, getting another search, right? And of course, getting the... Well, yeah, okay, Dimensional Barrier was activated, so no Pendulum Summon, but I still can get the Electrumite on the field. And I wanted to pop the Pendulum Monster here to get another search. I mean, that's basically priority number 2, I guess, next to getting out the Electrumite, is searching the Pendulum Graph Trap. That has the ability to let me play during my opponent's turn, you know, getting rid of the opponent's interruptions, I guess, or prevent the Totally Awesome from coming out. And yeah, this is kind of terrible. I mean, the top deck from Reckless Greed, you can't give Paleo too many draws. And yeah, this is a losing battle, I guess. Lost the Pendulum Graph spell, and I'm faced with the Opabinia, the Totally Awesome as well, and the, what is it, Olinoides, I believe the name is, the rank 2 exceed that has the interruption to pop something during your opponent's turn as well. And yeah, there it is. And there's nothing I can do. I can basically scoop things up here. And that Reckless Greed kind of turned it, well, yeah, Reckless Greed into grass. It wasn't Reckless Greed. It's just the fact that grass looks greener is still a ridiculous card. But that's how it is, right? So this was game number 2, again with the side decks. And I think I should be going first during game number 3, and obviously if I'm going second, I definitely side deck in the triple evenly matched that are in the side deck as well. So going first, definitely leave in the Wavering Eyes for this. Again, Wavering Eyes being able to search out the Astrograph Sorcerer, which is at 3, mind-boggling. Especially the fact that you can search it out off of Wavering Eyes and then immediately drop it. Like, where is their logic? Insane. And of course, yeah, Electrumite having the ability to send Astrograph Sorcerer immediately to your extra deck, use the effect, get a draw, plus dropping an Astrograph Sorcerer is just 3 pluses. It's kinda unfair. So yeah, the deck doesn't have access to what is it called, a Metaltron or Sayuja, but well, yeah, Deco Talker was in the list, so eventually went with that as well. You know, Deco Talker just gets rid of your Odd Eyes Exceed to put Vortex on the field, but this is like, I can't lose this one. You have the rank 6 Exceed that prevents Grass, that prevents Pot of Desires or Card of the Mice from triggering, Vortex as well, and of course the Pendulum Graph Trap that sends at least like 2 cards from your opponent to the graveyard. So game number 4 again, I go second, so side-decking in those evenly matched again, and this is definitely okay. I do have the Ash Blossom for the potential, you know, Demise, Desires or Grass. So that was definitely good. Wavering Eyes, but again the 3 sets might be a bit scary. Then again, a Solemn Strike was maybe a bit too early, but then again, I mean, Solemn Strike on Joker. I mean, Joker is a huge threat, searching out like a Wisdom Eye Magician to set up your scales even more and your Pendulum, or at least your extra deck even more. So I get why there was like a Solemn Strike, and yeah, whatever. So the Lost Wind on Electrumite is quite huge. Again, I'm not able to set up my scales, and maybe I should have searched the Pendulum Graph spell first, but again, with the mindset that I, you know, priority number 2, get the Pendulum Graph Trap set up so I can potentially interrupt during my opponent's play, prevent the Totally Awesome from coming out right. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, still have like the purple Poison Magician that could potentially destroy something from my opponent, but sadly no Paleo, since again the Paleos are unaffected by monster effects. But it's thanks to the Pendulum Graph, at least the interaction between both Pendulum Graph spell and trap, I can freely, at least those destruction effects from the trap cards are no minuses, are not minuses for me. So it's perfect, right? And it's just a matter of time that I'm able to set up my scale and eventually go for a huge Pendulum summon, since again Electrumite is still on the field. And the Cross looks greener is actually a huge top deck if it wasn't for if it wasn't for the Ash Blossom. But then again, not really sure if Grass would have been able to send something huge from the deck to the graveyard. Yeah, maybe set up a Totally Awesome. Even then, I still had the Pendulum Graph Trap to interrupt my opponent's play, so I think it wouldn't have mattered that much. So yeah, eventually get rid of the opponent's back row as well. The Ronin Totem will stay on the field, but this should be the game, right? Getting those extra searches, going for the absolute, getting rid of it, go for Deco Talker. Wavering Eyes as well is basically a cherry on top of the pie. Dropping the Esther, again, not once per turn, doesn't really make sense of how powerful the card is. But yeah, again, this should indeed be the duel. So there's one extra duel remaining again to, you know, prolong the video, prevent spoilers. But I think again we have a well-deserved winner. This like score 3-1 kinda feels the same way of how the people voted in the previous video, right? So one extra duel, I think I'm going second. Yeah, indeed, the Wavering Eyes still in the deck. No Ash Blossom, but again, like a very strong opening for Paleos. Immediately the grass looks greener, setting up those Paleo traps in the graveyard, I guess, but evenly matched, equalizing the playing field. So dropping the Joker for the extra search and trying to get Electrumite on the field here. But yeah, what is it called? Is it Olinoidus? The Mystical Space Typhoon? Not really sure about the correct name, but you know, it's the Mystical Space Typhoon. Getting blown away by the last wind here. But it's fine though. Well, okay, I do lose the Electrumite pluses and the popping effect, but I still have my scale set up. And you know, like special summoning 5 monsters at the same time is quite ridiculous. And thanks to the banned Starving Venom, I can copy my Electrumite on the field and still get those extra searches. Again, priority number 2, eventually get to my Pendulum Graph Trap card, right? So going for Electrumite, copy number 2, actually copy number 3. But I think you should be going for Deco Talker, and then I think I have like 2 options, either for the, what's it called, yeah, Tornado Dragon, indeed, to at least get rid of 1 Last Wind, maybe Bagushka, but then again Bagushka could probably be negated by the second copy of Last Wind that's set there, or the Magician Exceed that leads to at least 2 pops with the Pendulum Graph Trap. But eventually opt to not use the trap card again, just I don't want to give my opponent 3 pluses, and eventually just force out the potentially Toad negation, but In the long run, again, it doesn't really matter too much. The purple poison is, yeah, indeed negated and destroyed, so its effect will trigger. But again, won't matter since the Paleo trap is unaffected by monster effects. And yeah, the second toad is going to hit the field, but it doesn't matter. Its effect will trigger during the standby phase, but I'll just use the broken trap that's named the Pendulum Graph trap. Well, it's time Pendulum Graph, right? But you know which one I mean. And that's just ridiculous, so I can Pendulum Summon everything on the field and eventually just attack for a game. So yeah, this Pendulum deck, it's from the 4 decks I've seen and we've been playing here, it feels that from only these 4 decks, this is a huge list. The Pendulum Graph, like the Pendulum Magician deck from Master Rule 4. Anyway, so next matchup we have Chaos versus Quintile Undead, Teledad featuring zombies, so 2 old school decks. So yeah, again, feel free to leave your prediction, upper right corner, and or a comment down below. Thanks for watching, feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out, peace.